Hi, this is day 14 out of 100, and today I want to talk about something that I was talking about, or I typed out to a new friend, and that has to do with my ego. I like to think that I'm relatively a very humble person, which feels awkward to say because of the kind of person I am. And I think if you were to ask pretty much anyone in my life, they would agree with that. I hope. But I have this, I don't know if you'd call it a problem, but I have this tendency to, or lately especially, I've had this tendency to want to show off when things that I'm proud of. And this is something that's, at least to this degree, is fairly new for me. And that's just because I've just, in the last few weeks especially, in the last few years too, have begun to develop a lot of pride for myself. And that pride comes from a lot of different aspects of me. And I think for so much of my life, I spent that time trying to divert attention away from me. And this is like pretty verbatim for what I had told this friend earlier, but I wanted to flush this thought out more. But ever since I could remember, I've always tried to, well, not ever since I can remember, ever since like middle school, when like, you know, your ego really starts to form. I started to, I had like a year or two where I wanted a lot of attention, and then once I felt like a fat loser, I I diverted a lot of attention away from me and tried to hide, and I just like didn't want people to look at me because, well, at the time, just because I just didn't feel attractive and I didn't feel cool, like really, really simple things. And that like went into high school, and by college I was a little bit more relaxed, but even then, I think partially through college and a few years after college to now, I like the reason I didn't want to bring attention to me oh yeah, especially the last few years, is because I had developed a lot of shame and guilt about the way that I spent my time. And there were a lot of times when I was just afraid to be seen by people because I was deeply afraid, no matter how much they loved me or were just a friend or whatever, I was deeply afraid that they would see me for who I am, and who I thought I was back then was just a complacent, just ambitionless, lazy, I don't know, boring, just shameful person. And so, and like it came in waves in the last few years. Like I'd have moments where I was proud of myself and I like wanted to be seen, and I also had a lot of times when I couldn't even look at myself because I was afraid to see more of me. But when I was spending my time in more ways where I was proud, and when I started to feel more attractive because of the effort I put into taking care of my body and just myself, I I wanted to show that off, because after spending so much time just being ashamed of who I was, it felt so fucking good to be able to like just like shine and like be seen. And I typically only do this with people I'm very close to, people who people who know that me being able to like compliment myself and speak highly of myself and to be able to like joke about being attractive, like I typically only say those things to people who know that those are the kinds of things I could never say before, because I never believed it. And so yeah, I just wanted to receive my flowers. And I still want to receive my flowers. But then there's this, lately I've been feeling like I've been meeting a lot of new people, and I still find myself wanting to kind of show off around these people. And what I worry about is that without knowing my history, I'll just look like an arrogant douchebag. So that's one aspect. But the part that I really wanted to talk about is that sometimes I do things in like a really embarrassing way to try to get attention, like with my loved ones, like family and friends, where like I'll intentionally set up conversations or like topics to be able to talk about something that I've gotten really good at, to be able to just like show off that I'm really good at this sort of thing, or I'll intentionally try to like set myself up in like attractive positions and just like sit really coolly or something. Not like this, but like I'll just do that and in the hopes that someone will walk in and see me sitting like that and be like, oh damn, looking good. And I'm cringing talking about this. But I'll do that stuff, and it's embarrassing to talk about, but I do that. And like for now I've just been enjoying it because just like I want to get comfortable with just being proud of myself and just exercising this muscle of just feeling good about me. But there's also a part of me that wants to just like stay humble and just like slowly show people who I am. Because right now I want to show people quickly who I am, and by doing that, by wanting that, I'm like doing this cringy shit that I'm talking about. But like I know that at least for the people that matter to me, I don't need to pull these tricks and put this act up to show. Well, it's not an act. I don't need to like do these little sneaky little things to try to show them who I am now, because I know that if this is truly who I am, they'll just realize that over time. And I should be fine with that. But there's just like this baby part of me that just like wants validation so badly. Because it feels so good to just like keep receiving it like constantly, because I'm just so not used to that. And even if I had points in my life in the past where I did receive a lot of validation, I was never able to accept that. And now that I can accept it, it's just like so much more fun. So much dopamine. But yeah, like I was talking about this to a friend because this is something that they were also feeling and doing and just working with. And I wanted to share to them that I do this too, so that they feel more comfortable with sharing more things in the future. But while I was writing this out, or while I was typing this out to that friend, I was just thinking like, oh, like this is pretty embarrassing to talk about. But then like I immediately felt that, and I was like, I need to talk about this in my video today. Because I want to talk more about things that like I'm uncomfortable with talking about. But it's hard to think of things every day that I'm uncomfortable to talk about, at least like to this degree. Yeah. But I feel like once I talk about these embarrassing things, they just become less. Like I'm fairly good about talking about things that put me in a very vulnerable position, but there's still some things that just like I need a little more space and time to be able to like open up about sometimes. And I feel like just talking about this stuff makes it so that in the future, like when a situation arises where me being able to talk about this stuff could be very helpful to me or someone next to me, I don't want to be silent just because it's kind of embarrassing. So, yeah. I am still a little baby that wants a lot of attention, and I'm working on becoming a man who needs not so much attention. Or maybe none at all. No, I mean, like, I feel like some's good. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I will be back again tomorrow.